Do you have an artistic friend who makes the most amazing paintings you've ever seen? Or perhaps a potter who makes cups so beautiful it makes you want to cry? Or perhaps there's an illustrator who makes the best fan art you could ever possibly dream of, and yet you can't purchase any of their things because, well, life is expensive nowadays, but you do want to support them. I have here a list of many ways that you can support your artistic friends without spending a single dime. And some of these ways would help support their artwork more than purchasing it would. This is Brushwork. Hey friends and foes, welcome to Brushwork Podcast. My name is Stephanie Scott, and today I've got a whole list of ways that you can support your artistic friends without spending any money at all. Now, if you've been a longtime listener of Brushwork, you know that I did this episode as my very first episode of Brushwork. That was over 100 episodes and 2 years ago. Can I get a little thumbs up for persistence? I wanted to come back to this topic because I feel like things have changed in the art industry, and from my advice back then that I gave to all 23 of you that were listening, I appreciate every single one of you. Thanks, Mom. Supporting artists is more than buying artwork. Supporting artists means showing up for their shows. It means spreading the word. It means listening to when they have something to say, and it means being a really good human towards them. I have a list of things that you can do today to support your artistic friends, and I'm going to tell you also how these things have benefited me in my artistic journey along the way. Number one is subscribing to their mailing lists. If your artistic friend has a website, they probably also have a mailing list. By subscribing to their mailing list, you're telling them, oh, I really, really, really like your art. I like your art so much that I want you to mail me things in my inbox as many times as you like. And that's kind of powerful. In an artist mailing list, they do giveaways, they tell you about shows, they tell you about discounts and what shop updates, they tell you about so many things. You might learn about their process in a way that they've never shared on social media. Signing up for their mailing lists helps them show their work out to the world even more. You are the golden fan who signs up for the mailing list. One thing that I've really loved about having a mailing list for the last 2 years, and mine isn't very big, it's about 130 people at this point, but what I've really, really loved is when people forward the emails I send them in their inbox to their friends. It helps me get into these new friend circles that I might be kind of adjacent to or might not know at all. And it helps me get my art out to people who can buy my artwork. And that is such a great gift. I mean, one time I went to a friend's house and I was looking at their walls. It was my first time there. And I was like, oh, I know that artist of that painting that you have on the wall. And they're like, yeah, after you sent me their email, I bought something from them. And I was like, oh, wow. When you share your favorite artists with your community, their community gets stronger, and it's fabulous. So sign up for your friends' mailing lists. I'm gonna have a link to mine in the comments if you want to join. On my mailing list, I do postcard giveaways, I give out discounts, I tell you updates and stories about my life and what I'm working on. It's not all the time, it's not obnoxious, but it is fun. Do you want emails from like big box stores? Or would you like emails from artists? Because come on, like really, would you rather have an email from a big box store who is like, oh, we have a Mother's Day sale, we have this kind of sale, blah, 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 and it's super, and you get discounts, and they're not actually discounts, or would you rather get an email from an artist? I know what I want, okay? The next thing is spend some time really engaging with their online content. If they are on Instagram, if they're on Twitch, if they're on YouTube, go and watch their videos, comment on their posts, like their things or whatever the mechanic is for wherever they're going and wherever they're posting, and really engage. This is the fastest and the freest thing that you can do. I'm assuming you're already following your friend on these different accounts, but if you're not, then go find them. So that's like easy step one. But when you comment on someone's work, when you comment on their videos and you comment on their Instagram posts, or they're on Kara or wherever they are on the internet, it tells that algorithm that somebody likes that thing, and therefore it will be shown to a broader audience. If you're not really familiar with how social media works, when people engage with something, the platform's like, people like this thing, because social media platforms are people pleasers. when someone likes a thing and there's engagement on it, it gets shown to more people, and that more people might include a buyer for that artist. That's direct support. That's the kind of support I cannot purchase. It's so nice. Another thing about comments and really engaging with a post is when people do that for me, when I get a nice message or a thoughtful message, or my content that I've created has really connected with someone, it makes my whole day. I'm just like, yeah, what I'm doing matters. People care about it, and it's awesome. And it builds the connection in the relationship with me and that person. Not only are you supporting me, but our relationship is building, and that's beautiful. It's cute. And it's perfect. And I know when some people want to buy art and they can't right now, and I'm like, I can wait till you're more financially able to do this thing, or that I can wait until the time is right, till you have an apartment that can fit the kind of art that I make. I'm patient, and your favorite artist is probably also very patient. So comment on their things. And all of this is leading me to the next thing, which is sometimes your support means telling them what's real, what they can't see. You know how we all have like blinders on in life, and we can't see when our eyebrows are poorly drawn, and we can't see when our haircut is bad, and we can't see when our colors that we're wearing is not good. Sometimes it's like that with online content. Support doesn't mean, oh yay, you're doing great, no matter what you think of it. It's being real. When you comment on someone's object that they've posted, maybe it's like an oil painting, and they're like, yeah, your colors here are beautiful. You can also say things that are more critical. Be like, hey, this post you made about your new podcast episode, I can't tell it's about a new podcast episode because the person you're interviewing, their picture's too small and I can't read the text. My friend Dree pointed this out to me, and I was like, you're right, you can't see that. And I was totally blind. I was like, this looks good. This looks right. Supporting your friend by saying, hey, your website isn't working, I can't figure out how to actually purchase anything that you have in your shop, is a huge help, because a lot of people who aren't your friends are not going to go through the effort of being like, hey, I can't figure out where your checkout button is on your shop. And say someone does go to your shop and they want to buy something, but they can't figure it out, chances are they're not going to email you about it. They're going to give up, and then you'll lose the sale. So having the support of someone to be like, hey, this thing that you've made isn't working, is like, oh, it's gold. It's so good. I value that more than selling a painting. It's so nice. So be critical about what they're doing, but not mean, right? We're being critical, constructive criticism, like give them actionable steps. That kind of support, gold, delicious. We love it. This next tip I have is for people who are also creative. You want to support your artistic friends? Try and collaborate with them. You know what you have a lot of in life? Well, hopefully, it's time. You have time. And if you can't purchase something, maybe you can collaborate. Maybe you can do a project together. This is very into Twitch culture, where we do like co-streams and things like that. But even in Discord, even on Instagram, I'll do collaborations with other artists and other creatives, and it expands their audience onto mine and mine onto theirs. Having a collaboration between you and another creative is so good. I do a lot of collaborations with other people as well, and sometimes I become affiliates with their businesses. For example, I've got this one with Friday Afternoon Tea House, where I talk about her tea all the time on social media, and therefore I get a kickback if someone buys something using my code, which is cool, right? We get discounts, I get a kickback. I'm telling her audience about me, and then she's telling my audience about her, and it's a win. Think about collaboration as a way to support your artistic friends if you're also a creative person. My next tip is not as easy as the others, but it is high effort, high reward for both of you. If you're someone who's not creative and you work in a job that happens to be in an office of some sort, see if you can create opportunities for your artistic friends. Here's my example. My family is in real estate, and my sister was like, hey, you should talk to this company because they have an office that a lot of people go into, and maybe they could hang your art on the walls for a month. And I was like, sister, this is genius. So I reached out to that manager and I was like, hello, my sister referred me to you. I have art. Here's a picture of what I do. Here's my work in other shops I've done in the past, etc., etc. And I was able to get my art on the walls there. My sister didn't buy my art there, but she gave me that connection and she gave me that opportunity. And that is so invaluable. Having opportunities to show my work to even more people did get me more sales in that month. I was able to sell a couple paintings to people who were also in the industry of buying houses, and that's magic. Think about what you do for a living. Are you someone who stages homes? Are you someone who has a dental office? Are you someone who is an assistant somewhere? Do you work in a coffee shop? Think about these spaces that you have and think about, how could this artist perhaps have a show at this place? How could this artist perhaps make a connection with someone? Do I know someone who is opening up a new office space who needs art? I'm going to send them my friend's info and maybe they will reach out, right? Like, think about connections and think about opportunities like that. When you think about building connections for your artistic friends, or even just your friends in general, you're building community, and that is quite powerful and quite nice and will usually lead to sales for that artist. Make connections. My next tip is related, and that is showing up. I feel like showing up is the number one thing you can do for support. So say your friend has an online webinar that they've been planning for months and they're teaching you about some creative thing and it's great and it's fun and they've been publishing it and they're like trying to get people to come to it. You should go to it. Show up to the webinar, even if it's not in your field, even if you're just like, I don't really make art, or I'm not really interested in coaching. Going to it anyways is showing up and is showing support. This works for in-person too. If you have a friend who has their very first art walk show and it's in this little shop in a town in the middle of nowhere, but you can access it within like an hour drive or a bus ride or a train ride, whatever. If you can get there and simply go and look at the art, that is the kind of support that I dream of. Whenever my friends come to my art shows, and I'm just like so honored that they would be there, even if they don't buy anything. In fact, I'm the one usually giving them things. I'm just like, thanks for showing up. Here's a free postcard set. Here is my time. Can I tell you about the art? Go to these events and ask questions about what's going on. Ask questions about the artwork, about a performance, about whatever is happening in that event that your artist has put on. They're your artist now, by the way. Asking and being inquisitive is one of the greatest kinds of supports you can offer. And if you want to take it even a step further, bring a friend. All of these tips are about expanding community, you'll notice. And these are things that you do for free financially. They take effort on your part, but it's the kind of effort that does pay back. My next tip is a little bit unusual. I don't see it very often, but every once in a while, I'll have a friend be like, hey, Stephanie, do you have any postcards that I could just leave out in my office space for people to take? Or do you have any business cards I could give out? And I'll just supply them with marketing material. I'm like, yeah, absolutely. I will give you, do you want 50? Do you want 100 of these postcards? Do you want a bunch of business cards? I will just give them because I know that they are going to give them out to other people. Maybe they are like, hey, Stevie, do you have an event coming up? I'll be like, yeah. They're like, do you have a poster for it? I'm like, I might not, but I would make one for them. We'll put it up in our community billboard. We'll go and do something. And again, it's kind of like promotion. So I'm gonna call this tip promotion. Promoting your friends is really great in that way. Ask your artist friend if they have any sort of stickers, if they have sort of marketing material that you could give to other people and like show off. Delicious. Offer up your home. Okay, not totally. You're not gonna be like, here's my home. But offer up your wall space in particular. There's something that is really tricky for artists, and that is finding space to take quality photos of their artwork. Finding spaces that feel clean and interesting and not just the studio wall that's covered in paint, right? If you own a house, actually not own a house, if you have an apartment that has beautiful natural light and like an interesting setup, take a picture of it with like some blank wall space and send it to your favorite artistic person who's, assuming local, your artistic friend, and be like, hey, I have this wall. Would you want to bring paintings over or prints or whatever they make and take photos for your website? Like, come on. Like, give them setups, give them spaces to have visual interest. And that leads me to my next one, which is offer up your wall space for painting storage. I have this bad habit where I put paintings leaning against my table. I'm looking at it over there. It's on the floor. Sometimes I accidentally kick my paintings. I have like another rack next to me that is just filled with art that I have not sold yet, inventory, right? And I would much rather it be in the homes of my friends. If not permanently, that's okay, but for a while until I can put it up in a show, that would be great. Just offer it to them, be like, hey, I'm looking for some art. I know you have some. You can keep trying to sell it. You take it back whenever you like, but I would love to hang it up in my home for a little while. And sneak peek, if you do this, write a contract, right? Make sure your artist is like, okay, I'm loaning it out to you for like 3 months or so, and I get to take it out whenever. But also, you're gonna get so used to having their art in your home that you'll probably want to buy it, and I bet you they would give you a discount so they don't have to come pick it up. Like, it's pretty cool. It's kind of sneaky, it's kind of unusual, but I do love the idea. If you are one of my friends and you want some art in your house, I have a couple that could use to be not on the floor in my studio. That would be super. One thing I love about hanging my art in my friends' houses is that it creates social proof images. So when I say social proof, I mean like when you're first starting out and you have your art on your website, but it's all like mock-ups, having the ability to say, hey, this painting that I've made that's in someone's house is real, and it's in someone's house, it's in a real space. It creates proof that this thing exists and it's not just some AI image that I made up, you know? Social proof. So offer your walls, offer your space to hang their art so they can take photos. Maybe it keeps the painting safer and gives you something to look at. It's a fun conversation starter. Maybe you can say, hey, I'll try and sell this to my friends when they come over. You might not be able to do it, but you could try. Not exactly exposure, but it's something, and it's nice. Those are my best ideas for free things to do. Now let's say you have like $5, $10, or even $20. Another thing you can do for artists is oftentimes they will have a monthly subscription sort of plan where they show you behind the scenes items and might give you like free wallpapers for your cell phone or postcards and things like that. See if your friend has a $5 a month subscription. Maybe it's on Twitch, maybe it's on YouTube, maybe it's on Discord like I've got. I have this club called the Brush Club, and you can pay me $5 a month, and I give you extra support. I give you personal critiques. I have office hours for helping you with your own creativity. These sort of subscriptions are very low cost, and they go a long way. You don't have to buy $100, $1,000 paintings from your friend all the time. You give them $5 a month, and that's a patron, right? Maybe it's not on Patreon, but it's something that is worthwhile and definitely signifies your support towards that person. Having a subscription service is really amazing, and if your favorite artist does that, see if you can afford a $5 a month. If you can afford a $10 a month, it could be great. You might really enjoy it. Plus, it's even more interaction and more friendship building. You might get discounts, you might get free things, you might not. It might be just support, but that signifies a lot of help, and I always appreciate people who subscribe to me. That's all the items I've got for you today, but if you're interested in joining the Brush Club, which is Brushworks' very new subscription, this is how it works. You can do $5 a month, which is just to support me, again, to let me continue to make this podcast and to continue making quality content for you about art. You can join the Friends tier, which is $10 a month. You get office hours access, which you can come to me with any creative problem, and I'm going to help you work through it. It's group setting, so there's a bit of a hot seat aspect, and I feel like I learned the most during office hours. We've also got some behind the scene things. I've got some monthly challenges I'm going to be putting up. And if you want even more, if you want a monthly critique from me on your art, you should join the Foes tier. It's $20 a month. You get one image critiqued by me every single month, plus everything else from previous tiers, including cute emotes and many, many other perks. You should join the Arts and Crafts table. I have a link to it below. It's free to join the Discord, and I hope to see you there. Thanks for hanging out with me today. If you're looking for me on Instagram, I'm at stephaniescott.art. If you're looking for the website, it's also stephaniescott.art. And that's it. I hope you have a great day. Let me know what your favorite tip was in the comments. Peace out, guys. Make good choices. Bye. I mean, honestly, how much do I have to scream for people to support their artist friends? I mean, I'll do it. Support your friends.